Amazon workplace ripped apart by a twister over the weekend. And a wealthy businessman gets into the giving spirit, handing out $100 bills to the Apache Nation in Arizona.
Four states' most watched news starts now.
Recovery efforts continue in 5 states hit by a cluster of tornadoes Friday night. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. One of the twisters on the ground for an estimated 227 miles, longer than any other tornado ever recorded in the U.S. Now, that one was in Kentucky. The swath of tornadoes cut through at least 6 states. One of them tore into an Amazon warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, killing at least 6 people. The roof caved in on both sides of the Amazon facility, where workers prepare orders during the busy holiday season. In Kentucky, dozens died, but the death toll is not as high as originally thought. Officials initially said only 40 of 110 workers at a Kentucky candle factory were rescued. But now more than 90 people are located. Laura Podesta is near that factory in the town of Mayfield with the latest.
There are more stories of survival and devastating loss from the candle factory in western Kentucky, leveled by a powerful tornado. It was filled with employees, including Autumn Kirks, who was working the Friday night shift alongside her boyfriend. He didn't make it out alive.
They said take cover, and I could still see him when they yelled take cover. And I don't know what happened, how I got out and he didn't.
That tornado was one of several that ripped through the Midwest over the weekend, killing dozens. Kentucky was hardest hit.
Our state was hit by at least 4 tornadoes. One stayed on the ground in Kentucky for at least 200 miles, devastating anything in its path. Our best count for confirmed deaths are 64 Kentuckians.
In the town of Mayfield, twisted sheet metal, downed power lines, and wrecked cars line the streets. Windows are blown out and roofs torn off buildings.
It's just upsetting, to know that that's the town that you grew up in and everything, his memories is all gone.
This entire neighborhood in Mayfield is a shell of what it once was. Residents have pulled out belongings that could be saved, but there are no homes for them to go back to. About an hour northeast in Hopkins County, a tornado derailed a freight train, scattering dozens of cars. Homes and businesses in the area are demolished.
It's just like a nuclear bomb went off.
Across Kentucky, tens of thousands of people are without power. Mayfield officials are warning residents who didn't lose their homes that they could be without heat, water, and electricity for a long time. Laura Podesta, CBS News, Mayfield, Kentucky.
It was quite a wild weekend. Yeah.
And Tanya, actually, if you go back through the storm reports, while we weren't part of that main swath, we had a tornado storm report not too far from us. Let's go to the Skywatch Storm Tracker. I want to point out that one right there. That's actually out of West Branson, just out of our highlighted areas. They actually had 20 houses that had siding damage. Now, nothing like the swath that Tanya and Laura Podesta were telling us about that started in northeast Arkansas, made their way through the Boot Heel. Right there is Mayfield, Kentucky. That is where the National Weather Service is situated, right in Paducah, as they look at this damage and try to see just exactly how many tornadoes actually hit the ground. This is going to take several days to figure out. I can tell you that coming off of Friday into Saturday morning, 50 separate reports encompassing a total of 8 states. And so once again, while it was very windy for us, nothing like the 230-mile complex of storms that made its way from Arkansas all the way into southern Ohio. Luckily, here as we sit at the noon hour on our Monday, clean Skywatch Storm Tracker, finally a chance for the entire Midwest to calm down, and we've got very warm weather as well. How about 63 already in Miami, 56 in Chanute, 61 in Joplin, and let's roll 62 in the Maple Leaf City of Carthage. And our weather trend is going to lift us up into the mid-60s. Whole bunch of sunshine today, but as Tanya said, it is also extremely windy. Let's talk a little rain, because by the time we move from Tuesday into Wednesday, very scattered, certainly not widespread, nothing severe by any means, but that'll last from Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, even with our cloud cover, abnormally warm, up into the high 60s by the time we're done with Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, here we go. We'll pay attention to what's out to the northwest as a good line of thunderstorms finally begin to emerge, and that's going to take us from Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Should be out by the time the drive is over, But look at what the temperatures do here on Thursday. A good 20-degree drop. Coming up here in just a little bit, Tanya, we'll talk about that thunderstorm activity because it's going to make its way into that same area where those tornadoes hit Friday and Saturday.
All right, thank you, Michael. The search continues for a man who escaped from the Ottawa County Jail. According to the Ottawa County Sheriff, around 1 a.m. Saturday, Charles Chuck Chance escaped from the Ottawa County Jail. Chance was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and gray sweatpants. He's described as a white male, approximately 5'10", around 200 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. Authorities say he was last seen in the North Miami area. If you have any information on his location, you're urged to contact authorities. Well, FedEx and city leaders in Pittsburgh discuss a potential package distribution center in Pittsburgh. Not many details are available yet, but FedEx did confirm discussions are underway for the potential lease of a location in town. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, Secret Santa heads to Arizona to hand out $100 bills and hope to a special group of people. Chocolate meatball cookies in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Abnormally warm December weather is what's going to dominate the beginning of our week, and really it's dominated the first 13 days of the entire month. As we look at the roller coaster, and we've dipped down around 43, we actually had a 72 if we were to take it back 11 days, but I think the key factor right here is our December average high so far through 13 days, 61.5 degrees. Now, normally, we should only be sitting at 50.1 degrees. So while we keep on warming up this week, we're still a good 11 degrees above normal through 13 days of the month. Amazing. 61 degrees is where we stand over 7th and Range Line in Joplin. Look at that humidity sinking all the way to 32%. And so we've got the old triumvirate with the low humidity, the high wind, and the warm temperatures. Elevated fire risk, just keeping you on your toes. We don't have any watches or warnings associated with the old red flag that we talk about. But at the same point in time, with the temperatures being what they are and challenging some records, not today, we won't be able to get up to the 76 degrees that we got in 1948, but we will be studying the daily almanac on both Tuesday and Wednesday as we approach those record highs. And another thing that's not going to go away, the south wind. We're going to go sustained at 10 to 15 miles per hour, already coming in 15 and 14 there in Independence and Chanute respectively. And that does lead us to a high wind watch just for our counties out in the northwest. However, no matter where you are today, it is going to be blustery. Take heed, especially when you're traveling east and west in those high profile vehicles, because everything will continually come in there from the south. Now, the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we are clear as can be. Not even a cloud in the sky, no precipitation through the entire Midwest because we got the old ridge of the jet stream. Whole lot of arrows coming there off the Pacific. But with that high pressure that's hanging over here to our west, the higher the ridge goes, everything below it gets extremely warm. And what we'll actually see, we've seen this since this morning. It was barely hanging over us. Now, we're starting to see that bubble push its way all the way into northern Missouri, if not into portions of Iowa. So that's what's going to feed us up into the high 60s, if not 70s here by the middle of the week. Now for today, let's go mid 60s, very, very comfortable. But once again, elevated fire conditions should get a little bit better, however, as we work toward tomorrow, because we'll see a little cloud cover begin to develop. And with our cloud cover also comes some scattered rain chances, very, very scattered. Not everybody's going to get any precipitation. So as it works in here, we'll do the same thing on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, by the time we get into Wednesday evening, that's when we begin to watch that dry line out there to the northwest, because as this thing develops, it's going to have a pretty good fine line about it. And whenever we see one of those, we know we're going to get some lightning, some thunder, and we see that one singular band right there of some heavy rain. Going to last from, say, about 8 in our northwestern portions all the way in to early Thursday morning. Should be out by the time we get to the morning commute, however. But what this thing is also going to do, number one, it's going to bring us some cooler temperatures. But now, as this pushes down to the southeast of us, the severe thunderstorm risk map, yeah, well, that's just thunderstorm activity. But I want to update this thing tomorrow because that's for us for Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The key factor for this is once it develops right here along the cold front, watch how it drops down in this specific area through northeast Arkansas, up through Kentucky and into Indiana. It's the same place we've been talking about, the same swath that path of tornadoes took. Here's some aerial footage. This is out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And so you've got these folks that are trying to clean up. They're still doing search and rescue, and now they're going to have thunderstorms that are headed their way on Thursday morning. So that will definitely be our national talker. For us, it does result in cooler temperatures, but Tanya, we get a quick little bump up there on Friday back to 60. The big cold front, oh, that's coming Saturday. How about starting the weekend off in the 30s?
Ooh, that's a big change.
We're going to be talking about 72 on Wednesday and an overnight low of 32 Friday night, Saturday morning.
And that 26, I don't even want to see that.
I know.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Tech Sergeant Calvin Centeni in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Erie, Kansas, served in France, Germany, and in England from 1943 to 1946. Centeni earned both the Combat Infantry Medal and the World War II Victory Medal. To Tech Sergeant Calvin Centeni, we thank you, our four-state hero. If you're looking for a great addition to your holiday cookie platter that's guaranteed to spark up some fun conversation, how about adding a chocolate meatball cookie to the menu? Howard shows us how to make one in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you grew up in an Italian household or had friends who did, you're probably familiar with something called meatball cookies. To an Italian family, the meatball cookie is to Christmas what turkey is to Thanksgiving and colored eggs are to Easter. And if these are new to you, let me show you how easy it is to make these chocolatey balls of goodness. We start by combining our usual dry baking ingredients along with some cocoa, cinnamon, and cloves. We set that aside, and in a separate bowl, we blend together some melted butter with sugar and a bit of vanilla. Then we gradually add the flour mixture and some milk to our dry ingredients until it's well mixed. The dough is going to be thick, which is perfect since we'll be rolling these into balls. Now, after these bake, we'll let them cool before dipping them into a homemade chocolate glaze. And when everyone asks you where you got the recipe for these chocolate meatball cookies, you can tell them it's a family secret, or you can send them to our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a classic cookie way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Meatball cookies, definitely a classic. And you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Frontier Farm Credit.
Yeah, it's a little bit breezy out there, but who can beat 64 degrees in the middle of December? So while we're at it, why don't we talk about challenging some records on Tuesday and Wednesday? Now remember, Wednesday night, thunderstorm activity develops out to the northwest, carries us all the way into Thursday morning. Cooler temperatures, but if you want a taste of true December, oh, just wait till Saturday.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, time is running out if you still have holiday gifts to send to friends and family. Some key shipping deadlines take effect this week, and supply chain issues continue to delay some purchases. We're going to have the latest holiday shipping forecast. Plus, following the devastation in Mayfield, Kentucky from the Friday night tornado outbreak, a Joplin business is heading out to help in the same way Joplin was helped in 2011. And the city of Pineville is one of 25 cities chosen nationwide for hometown grants. Find out how the city plans to spend those funds. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.